Is this the most resilient class of INSEAD? 20J, come on. Can the most resilient class of INSEAD give me a cheer? Louder, louder, louder. Come on, you're here. Look at all of you looking dapper in your fine clothes, slick gowns, supported by your friends and family. I genuinely cannot find the words to describe the overwhelming joy that I'm feeling today to see all of you in front of me. In much contrast to how I felt last time when I was speaking into a camera, holding back tears, choking with sadness, I made a promise to myself that day that no matter what, when, how, we will get our in-person graduation in Fonty in the summer at the Chateau. Et voilà! And this is no less than a dream come true for me, as I'm sure it is for you. And by no means was this a trivial effort. So please join me in my gratitude towards all the persevering souls that made this happen. First and foremost, our very own Mama Bear, Katya, I salute you for your courage and tenacity, for being with us for the class of 2020 right from the start to the pandemic to now, leading your student life team. I don't know all your names, but I'm sure there's a big team supporting you with the strongest resolve possible, and for whom this summer is one of the busiest with several events, many graduating classes. So please join your hands again. We cannot thank them enough for the work that they've done. And then to Urs, thank you for your patient leadership, all your support and sticking by us in the face of unending requests. We are a demanding bunch, but we just really wanted the full celebration. Two very important mentions. Celine, who works with Katya, she's managed thousands of emails. All those of you who emailed 20J graduation at insead.edu because you didn't sign up for things on time, thanks, Celine, because that's how she made it possible to be here. And of course, the man without whom none of this would have been possible, or our parties would have been possible, Zeki, our very own favorite, for going above and beyond and creating amazing parties. And a very special mention to the 20D Students' Council and the volunteers, Serene, Giselle, Joanna, Akash, and Nivriti, whom we cannot thank enough for their partnership in spite of crazy work hours and time zones in making all of this happen. They are our partners in resilience, and we promise we will always be for them. I have no doubts that they will have a great graduation today, this evening. Hopefully they're not too hungover from their party last night. And of course, our very own 20J quartet, Anandi, Emily, Pat, Surmai, I had to do it, sorry, who have gone above and beyond to make all of this a reality. Organizing anything in Fonty remotely is a challenge I hope no one else has to endure. I, of course, apologize for all the emails, telegram messages, and the checklists we wrote for you, yet most of you missed the deadlines and then clogged up our social media feeds. Thank you very much for that. I feel you, I understand, you're all born to lead, but are still learning to read, so it's a hard challenge, right? And last but definitely not least, thank you to all our champions, our families, friends, partners, children, who have supported us throughout our INSEAD journey. Some of us are here with us today, having endured nail-bitingly closed visa processes and travel strikes. Welcome to France. My own family made it all the way from Delhi, despite some staggering odds. So I'll take this opportunity to say, Ma, thank you very much for your endurance. Baba, thank you for your guidance. Rishima, thank you for your compassion. They're standing and waving, not embarrassing at all. And my grandma who couldn't join us, thank you for your blessings. As we continue upwards and onwards, please let us keep this gratitude alive in our hearts for every little and every big stimulus that that got us here, and that will also springboard us into the extraordinary futures that wait for us or have already started. Many among you asked me whether this long, painful tenure of being president was worth it. Let me think about it. No, I think standing here, seeing our 20J family together, and for the green diploma sleeves that we all be picking up very soon, I can say wholeheartedly, for you, 1,000 times over. Serving as class president has been the greatest honor yet for 20J. Hope I did okay. It's quite fortuitous to have this event coincide with the first decade of my career. And I've been reflecting a lot on how I got here, right? I heard those three letters, M, B, and A, when I was 10 years old. There's a true story from my own dad. And I innocently asked, Dad, where should I get mine? And he said, in the truest dad style, there are many great schools in the US, but there is a special place in Fontainebleau, that's how he calls it, called INSEAD. And it is by far one of the most unique schools out there. It's a one-year program. You'll do great if you got in. I'm not making the story up. At 10 years old, that's what my dad said. Brown parents, eh? So fast forward 19 years, I was weighing my options between LBS and INSEAD with my dad, of course, and he was very confident, very bullish from the beginning that I should go to INSEAD, and look, here I am. So, and so now you all know whom to thank or to blame for getting me as your president. He's right over there, buy him a few beers. But I wish I could paint you a rosy picture, that I got the best grades, I got the best job, 800 on the GMAT, an achievements-ridden path to get here. The reality is I failed time and time again, made bad choices, got too much in over my own head. Yet, while it is true that, of course, I persevered, it was not my hard work alone that got me here. There was something much bigger that enabled it, and it was the structure that life afforded me. The externalities of having parents who could afford good schools, who could send me to study abroad, my gender, friends like you, flatmates like the Portiquans, and mentors in inspiring careers, competent leaders who wrote my recommendation letters. As we sit here at the Chateau, we know very well how powerful structures can be when their impact compounds. Some of us can be propelled powerfully, whereas equally a lack of enabling structures can be just as limiting. Being empathetic, humble, and grateful for our own privileges is the least we can do, though what is more, we should endeavor to engender better, more constructive, and progressive structures around us that can empower everyone, regardless of background, to achieve, exceed, and be a force for good, truly. Especially because the pandemic was definitely not the last global crisis that we will have to endure in our lifetimes. Thanks to Professor on Sunday, we just heard that how fragile the geopolitics actually is. Wars and refugee crises, climate change, we talked about it, a looming economic downturn, attack on women's rights and reproductive rights, attacks on LGBTQ rights and people, racial inequality, I could go on. The easy thing will always be to retreat into our own comfort zones, whether it is with people who look like us, have the same socioeconomic status or political outlook, and never challenge our own assumptions, our own privilege. So let's change that, and let's continue to cultivate the outward-looking and forward-thinking mindsets that INSEAD instilled in us. Please don't forget that. In a way, the pandemic was a tough but great teacher. It affected the world, but it affected everyone unequally. It not only taught us to make the best of the cards we were dealt, because you're standing here, but also to stop and care for each other, lifting each other's up, so that they too could make the best of their situation. And so as I enter the next decade of my career, I've started to think hard about the legacy that I would want to leave behind. And for me, I hope to make a tangible impact on climate change, or tackling climate change and using technology as a force for good. While I don't have all the answers, I vow to create lasting structures in these areas to make systemic change more possible. Perhaps I will fail, but I will sure as hell try my best. And for each one of you who are so amazing, I really hope that you pick your call to action, start small if required, be intentional with your impact to create genuine structural change. As you climb on stage today, to receive that green sleeve, I encourage you to reflect on what your legacy will look like and who will you seek to lift as you continue to climb. Being the most resilient class of INSEAD is not just a badge of honor, it brings with it a duty that we must fulfill. As president, I have no more emails to send, I have no more events to organize, and no more checklists to write. So I'm really counting on you, and I please hope that you remember what I just said today. But I hope that these next words by Tennyson leave a lasting memory for you as a checklist, something that always gives me strength in my times of need. Though much is taken, much abides. And though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, we are. made weak by time and fate. One equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sagnik, for version 2.0, but a really important reminder of thinking about your legacies and how you can continue to lift others up in their lives and in their careers. So thank you very much. And the 5th year reunion is coming along very quickly, Sagnik, so don't put away those checklists too far, okay? Now it's time to hear from your elected class speaker. You voted for her not just once, but twice. It is my pleasure to call Katrina to the stage again to give her class address. Please, Katrina Javasch.